What is going on, guys? It's your boy Ziggy, and today I am back with another Black Beacon video. And this video, I guess, is like a short showcase guide conversation about Florence, right? I'm just going to talk about the character, what I like about the character, and how I use the character, and my build for the character, and my mindset when it comes to the character. So right now, I don't have the final breakthrough because, it's a bit of a grind. Yeah, I get to Seer 50, and right now I'm at Seer 45, and I'm pretty much like all tapped out on the amount of stamina I can use excessively, right? So going back to the character, I have the character at 80, level 80. I did get her to P1, which provides extra 40% increase to derived damage upon reaching 6 stacks of Monarch stats. I'll go back to this in a second. I do have her weapon. I don't have any dupes into her weapons. And for her skills, I did a focus on her passive, obviously. In her 2 skills, that's where I got this to 8. This is an 8. Her basic attack is at 5 because I barely do basic attacks with her, even though I do plan on bringing this up. Her combo is at 5. I am going to max this out. But basically, this character is the best DPS. I mean, it's arguable, but she's the best DPS in the game, in my opinion, right? From what the characters I played. So I'm talking about from my perspective, right? So for her ancient marks, right? So if you watch my previous video, right, or I don't know if I'm gonna upload them in order. Initially, the 3 substats I was focusing on was attack, crit damage, and crit rate. Now, me learning that her crit rate is not gonna reach a level where I feel like it's worth it. I had crit rate on every single piece. This was gold, right? I broke this down so I could redo it, but this was gold. Everything was gold. Everything had crit rate, and only one thing didn't have. Everything had crit damage except one thing. So I had like 51.5% crit rate, and like I think like 130 or 40% crit damage. And that's not good enough, right? That's not good enough. It's not worth it. So in my opinion, I decided to focus more on my attack damage, my pierce rate, and my fire damage. I think these are the 3 stats that you should focus on with her, because like I said, your crit rate and your crit damage is just based on the marks are not going to reach a consistent high level. I don't think 50% chance to crit, to me, is really not that good. Now, maybe there's some numbers that people are doing, and maybe we'll find out later if they're good or not. But I will say, if you're ultra whale, that means you can spend thousands of dollars on her banner. When you get her to P6, it does grant a 15% increase in critical hit rate and 40% increase in critical damage. That means if you max out her crit with ancient mark, which is like 51, that means you're able to get her to like what, 70 and some change, and then her crit damage will be like 180 and some change, maybe 190. I'm just ballparking it. So maybe if you have her at P6, maybe potentially putting in crit rate and crit damage on her ancient mark is worth it, but to me, it's not. If you're free to play, I don't think putting crit rate and crit damage on her is worth it. I would suggest doing pierce and fire damage and attack. Now, with that said, for her pierce, if you go into her ancient marks, for me, I did a 5-5. I did a 10-10-3-3-3 set. Now, if you don't know, ancient marks is 29 slots, and the slots go as 10s, 5s, 3s, and there's some 1s. No one uses the 1s. So you could do a combination of a 10-10-3-3-3, or you could do a 10-5-5-3-3-3. It depends on the character. Some characters are better to do 10-10-3-3, and some characters are better to do 10-5-3-3. Now, you could make an argument that it is, because if you have 3 pieces, right? Say if you do 10-5-5, that does give you an option to have 3 passive, right? Because every piece has a passive. Like, so this 10 piece Endless March has a passive of each time the owner consumes vigor, stamina, or their energy, however you want to call it, They gain 3.5 Pierce for 5 seconds, stacking up 5 times. Now, this is really good for her because the truth of the matter is, your rotation with her is gonna go around her skill sets, right? Her Blossoming, Rage, and what is it called? These 2 abilities, right? Falling Petals, that becomes Blossoming Despero, and then Flower Dance, which becomes Blossom Rage, right? You might use your, not that you're not gonna use your basic attacks, but these are like your 2 things, right? You're gonna use with her. So when you use that, you're gonna be stacking up your Pierce. Now, the thing with Ancient Marks, 10 pieces can stack, 5 pieces cannot stack. So I'll show you an example. Let's go to the store. And bear with me if you know this already, but in my opinion, I always, like, when I come into a video, I try to think of as someone they don't know everything about the game. So if you see right here that it doesn't say anything that it can't stack. So say if you pay it, so I don't know, I don't have a definitive answer on this, right? And I don't know the numbers, but when you look at the 5 pieces, it tells you the effect of same type do not stack. So I'm basing it off of the fact that they already tell you that they don't stack, that you can stack 10 piece what you call it, abilities, right? Their passes, you can stack them. So if you wanted to, you can do a 10 10 3 3 3 with Florence, and you can stack Endless March. Now, in my opinion, Endless March is the best 10 piece for her, right? That is the best 10 piece for her. You could argue maybe you want, like right now I'm rocking a dual Endless March and locked Flood Dragon. Now that's because I didn't know better and I'm learning about the game. If I knew better, I probably would just doubled up on Endless March, and I might do that in the long run, but I'm testing things out. I'm doing how things, you know, I'm playing the game, I'm testing how things are, and later, maybe in the future, I'll give you a more updated opinion about it. But if you ask me right now and you're someone who hasn't done any, like, you don't have any Ancient Marks and you're thinking about what do I do with her, in my opinion you do 2 Endless March. Now you could make an argument, let's go back to her, right? If you go back to her and then say if you have more dupes of her, right? You have this dupe, and let's see, right? So say if you got her to P2, right? And you have that derived damage. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You have that damage. Maybe you could argue that, hey, maybe I'll do a 10-5-5 because there is a Ancient Mark that does use that, right? Grant the owner a 3% increase in derived damage. Now, the problem with that, in my opinion, is what's going to be your other 5 piece. Now it could be ultimate damage. I don't think that's worth it. She doesn't do chase damage to my knowledge, and these pieces wouldn't fit, right? These pieces are not for her, right? This is a shield, this is healing, this is, you know, ultimate skill charge. Like, this is not for her. These are more like for supports. So yeah, you could do 10, right? Say you could have Endless March and you have her at like P2, right? Like, excuse me, you have her at 2 dupes. So you want to take advantage of those increase in stats. You don't have anything to back this up, right? You don't have another 5 piece that's worth it. In my opinion, ultimate damage is not worth it. So it's better to go 10 10 3 3 3, remember, because there's 29 there's 29 what you call it, there's 29 things you could put down. So in my opinion, it's better to go 10 10 3 3. And if you're gonna do 10 10 3 3 3, then you should do Endless March. Locked Flood Dragon is pretty decent. I have it for now, but if you don't have anything right now, it's Endless March. You doubled up with this, right? So you're maximizing your pierce damage. Now there is Sola. There is this one that increases critical hit rate by 3% after dealing damage with a basic attack. That's trash. Stacking up 3 times. This is trash. when the owner deals charge damage, increase their enhanced damage. This is not for her either, right? So it's either you're going with Lock Flood Dragon or Endless March, right? And Endless March is better because, like I said, is way better to build her with Pierce rather than crit. Now, hey, if you got her to P6, if you dropped a bag on her, like you're like, yo, I'm about to drop a bag on her, and you got her all the way to a potential 6, where you're gonna get that increase in crit and critical damage, then do you, bro. That ain't me. And that's not gonna be like 99% of the player base. 99% of the player base is not dropping like 4 bands on one character. All right. So in my opinion, go with Endless. Have her bring up her attack, pierce, and fire damage. And another reason I say bring up her fire damage, like say if you go to P3, right? P3 is, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? Maybe you get really lucky. If you look at P3, deals 30% more damage if the target is burning. Additional deals 5% more damage. So you're taking advantage of, you have fire damage. You're gonna use Hefe on the team, and she's gonna get fire damage for you. So you're increasing your fire damage, which is really good. She does damage over time, right? Damage over time, AoE. So that's gonna make her really good right there. I just wouldn't recommend doing crit damage and crit rate unless you get her to P6. If you got her at P6, you got it, bro. You got it, big bro. You got it, big bro. Your swag is too big. You're too strong. Your bitch is too bad. You got it, bro. But if you're not doing all that, then I would say attack, pierce, and fire damage. That's what you should do. Now going into that, right? Where would I rank her? I don't like doing tier lists. And truth be told, if I don't use a character, I don't have opinion on a character, right? I'm only focusing on these 3 characters. Should you summon on her banner? I say yes, because you have a 70% chance of getting her if you reach hard pity, which would suck, but you still have a 70% chance of getting her. And they're giving out a lot of the currency, the gold. I would call them, time seeking keys, but the gold ones, not the blue ones, right? We're getting a ton of these too, but she's definitely worth summoning on and worth having in your box. She's very beneficial. So with that said, I say that, we go in here and we do a little stage, and I talk a little bit more about it. Actually, let me talk a little bit more about her team. Now, there's been 2 teams I've been seeing with her a lot. I've been seeing Florence, Zero, Hefe, right? Or you could do Florence, Hefe, Logos, right? Or another team I've been also seeing is, this is more, I think her name is Viola. Viola, I don't have Viola. It's more of a Viola team, and then Florence kind of plays backpedal, but you could do that. But primarily, if you get Logos, I haven't focused on Logos. I do plan these 2 characters are the ones I plan to focus on coming up this week. But this is the team I've been running. It's very free to play friendly. You get Zero max dupe and her 5-star weapon for free. You could get Hefe's on her banner. So if you're summoning on her banner, most likely you will get a copy of her unless you're really unlucky. And then she does fire damage. She does fire DPS. She's up at fire damage. She also heals. Oh my god, I gotta do a whole nother video on just how goated she is. She heals. Like when you get to her breakthrough number 4, she's gonna heal. This character is so goated, bro. Like the best support in the game, in my opinion, and easily her best support. You're gonna have Zero here, giving her 30%. Not even 30%. Zero's first skill gives where can I want to shoot. All right, so Zero's second skill gives all team members an attack up for 20 seconds. I haven't reached the max. I think the max will be 12. I'm at 11. That attack boost is 36.75%. So you're just gonna have Zero. You're gonna have Zero here boosting up her attack. You're gonna have Hefe here giving extra 5 damage that she could take advantage, and also healing her, which is really nice. and giving her damage resistance. Like, oh my god, like she's so like the best the best support in the game in my opinion. Now I haven't used everybody else, so someone might tell me no, actually this person. All right, bro, you got it. To me, she's the best support that I could use on my team. And then you're gonna have her as a DPS, right? So let's just play something. Let's go into, as this a showcase, let's go into brute force mode. Now I haven't done a video on brute force mode. Brute force mode is basically like a timer thing. You would go in here. What's my rank? I am unranked. Oh bro, I gotta change that. Basically you go in here and then you're able to set debuffs on yourself, and based on the debuffs it makes it harder and the more points you gain. So we're gonna give ourselves, oh, we already have them here. We're not gonna give ourselves a buff at all. I don't think I need it. This game mode isn't very hard, or hopefully I don't get embarrassed. So it's one thing to like play the game, but it's another thing when I'm talking to you guys playing the game. But I should be okay. So we're gonna go in here, just use this team. Like I said, this is like, I'm not gonna go over like a full guide, like detail how to use her. I just want to do a little bit of showcase, talk about her character, what she does. Right, so we're gonna get the attack boost. Right, we got the attack boost. I also like, I could bring her out right now, but I also like to bring out Hefe's little field thing. And then I'm just gonna bring out her, and then she's gonna just mollywop. This mollywop. This mollywop, right? Come out there, AoE, killing everybody. Alright, next thing. We do have our 3 stacks. We can't dodge, so if you're looking at me like, yo, why are you not dodging? Because I took off the ability to dodge. Got our attack boost again. Where's the last person? Boom. This mollywhopping. Mollywhopping.
This glory is the finest crown. We get 0 out again, so we get our attack boost. Oh, I can't switch right now. That's annoying. Oh, I'm kind of stuck here. That is annoying. My own hubris is getting me killed. Alright, now we can get her out. Alright, our attack boost should be going. Fire is burning.
Can't dodge. Shit.
Full. Is this what pain feels like? The fire is burning.
The last enemy. Alright, we have one more stage after that. That took way longer than it should have. I'm probably not gonna be, like I said, talking to you guys and playing at the same time could be a little bit, don't judge me. That's all I'm saying. And this is not like, I'm not, maybe you go, I'm not gonna show you like, I don't think I'm showing you the best way to play her, but I'm just showing you why. I'm just trying to give a point overview of why she's really good, right? If you're free to play, right? If you're not want to be super sweaty, but you still want to understand how she works. I've taken a lot of games on this DPS thing. I can't die, bro. Oh my god, what? That's embarrassing. We don't mind that. You saw nothing. All right, you saw nothing. No one died. We beat it easy. Done. And you know what? I got a higher score than I had last time. What? Okay. But yeah, this is just a video talking about Florence. I think she's great. I think if you ask me like, hey, should you summon? Yeah, I think you should summon. If you ask me what ancient mark should I put on her, I say put 2 Endless March. If you ask me what substats should I focus on, I say attack, pierce, and fire damage. If you ask me, hey, if I was to do extra summons and I had unlimited money, but truthfully, where should I stop on her potential? I say getting her up to P3 is like definitively where I would stop if I was someone. But if you had like unlimited money, you get her to P6. Now getting her to P6, like I said, might change the build up a little bit, might change the build up and how you want to build her. But having her at P3 is like basically like you're really like you're good with just one copy, but you're really really good if you get her to P3. So yeah, that's just my opinion on the character. Like I said, I'm not giving like a full throttle build of like, oh, this is how you should do the rotations and all this. I feel like you guys know how I play the game. I'm just giving my overall thoughts on the character. I've been using her, had her day 1, 4 days in. I really like her. I think that this is the best team for her because I feel like when you have when you summon for a limited 5-star character, you want to maximize how much that character is useful in your team, especially if you're free to play. And this is not only this is a great team, but it's a free to play team. So yeah, that's all. If you like the video, you know, please if you like the video, please hit the like button. Tell me down below, have you summoned for her? Do you like her? Do you think she's the best DPS in the game? Do you think she's waifu material? Let me know. Peace, deuces, all above.